I'm Eytan Shander with Awesemo. We have 3 plays on this Wednesday night NBA slate for you for Jock Market. But before that, when you sign up to Jock Market for the first time, use our promo code. We're going to match your first deposit, Awesemo, up to $50. All right, let's jump in. We have 3 plays again. And the beauty of Jock Market, nothing stops once the ball goes up in the air. So we want to take advantage of game flow. We want to take advantage of how we can buy low and, of course, sell high. Now, looking at our own projections, on-site projections for Awesemo, we want to attack what's going on with the Indiana Pacers, and we'll start with Domantas Sabonis. Now, the projection for him is to be the second highest player from a fantasy point standpoint. When you look at his fair IPO price, on the other hand, it's not that high compared to other guys on this slate, like, for example, Jokic right there at the top. And to be honest with you, even Embiid and Giannis, where Sabonis is, have a couple of other guys on the floor. Doncic has dropped some significantly, and even Harden and Durant are kind of hovering in that high 9, mid 10 range. The reality is that Sabonis doesn't have anybody around him except for a couple of backup guards, and should be able to get by on this Nets team that isn't really offering much resistance for him up front. We also know that Sabonis can be a facilitator, and I think you can look at both rebounds and assists as a big night overall for Sabonis. But really, from a scoring standpoint, they're just down so many guys. Indiana at home against the Nets. Clearly, Indiana is slipping, and if even Sabonis and both he and Turner came off rough games last time out. So I like Sabonis to bounce back. I like the very limited opportunities around him to take away shots and looks. And ultimately, that's where we're going to begin, is Domantas Sabonis, again, at $13.80 with a fair IPO value. Just below that is Joel Embiid. Now, his fair IPO is at $13. We also have him projected just above 45 points in that mid-40s range, where there are only about 5 guys total in there. Embiid, similar to Sabonis, has very little resistance in his way. In fact, the only thing you have to worry about with Embiid is how bad they beat Orlando. They're on the road. They're an 8.5-point favorite. Clearly, Embiid is on fire right now. He's playing like he is in the MVP conversation, if not a strong candidate to win the award. And it's not going to be Seth Curry. It's not going to be Tobias Harris. There is nobody else that stands a great chance at taking away opportunities, especially because Orlando has nothing down low up front to stop Embiid. Expect the Sixers to go to Joel right away. In fact, this is where you can take advantage of Jock Market once the Sixers are up big and Joel Embiid has done the majority of the dirty work to get the Sixers to that point. That's a great opportunity to then sell high and really capitalize on how much stock has improved for Embiid in that pre-IPO to maybe at the half. Keep an eye on that. Could even be a third quarter sale on Embiid stocks right before you can sense the Sixers blowing the magic out and starting to sit the rest of their starters, including and especially Joel Embiid. Last, and again, keep an eye on everything as we do it from COVID to injury. We have a couple of guys who are still game time decisions, Trae Young being one of them. But how can we deny what's going on with the Hawks and Trae Young at the same time, where as bad as it may look for Atlanta, as ravaged as they've been with injury and the virus, you still have Trae Young, who comes off a ridiculous night, Monday night, against the Blazers. 56, that was a career high, 14 assists as well in only 37 minutes. So there is no switching off. There is no, hey, let's get Cam Reddish more involved. There's none of that. Danilo Gallinari and other guys came back. It still didn't matter. Kevin Huerter back. It still doesn't matter because Trae Young is the offense. And we've always said about the Hawks, they could score 89 to 95 points, and Young can still get you 50. That's how this thing is built right now, as they are still in Atlanta trying to find their feet on the road a little later tonight against the Kings. Still a little blowout factor involved there, I think more for Sacramento at this point. But with that said, we want Atlanta here, Trae Young, to continue this hot streak. There's no regression back from one game. we anticipate another big one and another opportunity for looks. And similarly, except it's the opposite principle here to what we talked about with Embiid. Once Atlanta's down, if they're down, then I would start looking at Trae Young. Look, they're down 20 at the half. That's a different story. But if they're down 10, even would be the max at the half or even after the third quarter, start to look at Trae Young heating up just to get opportunities, more and more points. All right, so let's start from the beginning here. Domantas, Sabonis, our first play. Joel Embiid, our second play. And Trae Young is how we're going to wind things down. A reminder, make sure you take advantage of our promo code. It's Awesemo, AWESEMO, and we're going to match your first deposit up to $50. I'm Eytan Shander. Have a great night.